To legislate is about more than the name on the bill. It's about reaching compromise and working long hours behind the scenes to get the job done.
The House will come to order.
Stayed within our means.
Diner Mike Smith says he could use but doesn't really need stimulus money.
I think seeing maybe, even like $2,000 per month or even more could be, I think, a good thing for some people.
But Bernice says, hold that order.
You got it.
A $2,000 menu item now could lead to a big bill later.
So you think you're going to pay for it later?
I feel like we are.
Yeah.
Nothing is free in this world.
Everybody, huge action is being taken right now by the top lawmakers in Congress. Stimulus payments are coming. Get ready for it. Up to $30,000 in relief can actually be claimed right now. Important details on the new stimulus package are being released. Inflation just continues to cause headaches for many homeowners, and here's what President Biden is saying about this. Since Americans received multiple stimulus checks and funds during the crisis, homeowners are wondering if Congress will actually help more homeowners furthermore. The 30-year mortgage rate has actually reached a new high last week. It led to a greater stagnation in the housing market. The average rate for a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage increased to 7% for the week, ending October 27. It is actually the first time it reached this threshold since April 2002. As inflation endures, consumers are seeing higher costs of return, causing further dramatic declines in consumer confidence this month. In fact, everybody, many potential home buyers are choosing to wait and see where the housing market will end up, pushing demand and home prices further downward. But experts say that there is a current $1 billion in relief funds that Americans can claim right now. That is through President Biden's Rescue Act, and it's provided up to close to $1 billion, $10 billion to the states through the Homeowner Assistance Fund. Most states have implemented this system, and actually, most states have implemented programs to distribute the funds, and are generally an eligible recipient must make less than 100% of the median income for the entire country. In the state of Illinois, eligible homeowners will soon be able to receive up to $30,000 in relief through an assistance program administered by the Illinois Housing Department Development Authority. In a press release, the organization announced that its Illinois Homeowner Assistance Fund would resume at the beginning of the month. They've approved more than $20.5 million in checks for around 1,800 people. It is happening. The inflation rate is expected to rise once again, everybody. And now the Federal Reserve is planning to take big action to address this major issue. With millions of people worried about with Congress stepping in for a little extra relief, people don't know if they're going to receive stimulus payments in 2023. But in this video, I'll explain to you the most important stimulus check information that you have to know. Because remember, folks, if President Biden does send out the fourth stimulus check in time, many people will get the relief that they so desperately need. And that would definitely be a great thing. So I hope that President Biden can keep his promise to the American people and send out stimulus payments by 2024. Do you think he will? Tell me in the comments. Well, high inflation and the state of the economy remain at the top of the list of America's top concern. A new poll showed that at least 60% of respondents said they have a great deal about concern and inflation in the economy. The percentage increased by 2 points for both categories from a poll taken last year. The Fed is already raising its key interest rate by 0.25 percentage points, underscoring the central bank's commitment to fighting inflation, even if that heightens the financial pressure on the country's banks. Now, folks, listen to this. As recently as 2 weeks ago, the Fed appeared set for a steeper rate hike and prepared to keep them elevated for longer. But a startling deposit run at Silicon Valley Bank. An applicant must have worked between March 10th and May 7th of 2022 in one of these occupations that the state has listed. Some of the frontline workers in these categories include healthcare personnel. Eligible applicants must earn at least. Some of the frontline workers in these categories include healthcare personnel, food and agricultural workers, grocery store staff, and public transit workers. Applicants must earn less than $150,000 per year and cannot be employed by a federal or state entity. Full-time workers who earn less than $100,000 can apply for a $1,000 grant. Those earning more than $100,000 but less than $150,000 are eligible for grants on a sliding scale, ranging as low as $200. Part-timers working less than 30 hours a week can apply for a $500 grant. The application period will run until October 1st, and the goal is to process requests within a 60-day window. And for the company of Lowe's, the CEO said that in recognition of high inflation, we're providing $5 We're providing $55 million in bonuses to our hourly frontline associates this quarter. And though there has been a slight decrease in gas and travel costs, recently the impacts of inflation are still affecting Americans, making it tougher for families to afford groceries and other essential goods. Microsoft.
Getting a raise is always nice.
So here's what the raise looks like in real terms. The average Social Security recipient receives $1,681 a month, or just over $20,000 a year. In 2023, the monthly payment rises $146 a month to $1,827, or $21,172 a year, a $1,752 increase. Now, Pat's hard work, income, and contributions to the system over.
It should also be noted that the latest round of stimulus payments were limited to individuals with adjusted gross incomes of $75,000 or less that were entitled to the full $1,400. It was reduced for those making more than $80,000 receiving a payment. I also want you guys to know that the IRS may owe you money based on crisis-related funds. Stimulus funds, that is, if you haven't even gotten your stimulus check yet. A ton of information about the Ford stimulus check is here, and stimulus payments are here for you and the people that need it the most. Chuck Schumer and the Senate could give a final proposal and approval by Thursday, in a week extension of the stimulus payments. Schumer said the House of Representatives is set to act on a 1-week continuing resolution and a stopgap funding bill as soon as tonight. And when the bill comes to the Senate, we should be ready to get this done as soon as possible. So, Chuck Schumer also said the House Republicans have encouraged their leaders to vote against the bill in a protest of what they call trillions of dollars of wasteful spending, even though it's going to the people that need stimulus the most. The House of Representatives had already passed a short-term funding bill last night to avoid this government shutdown. They kicked the Friday funding deadline next week to allow lawmakers more time to strike a deal on the spending for the remainder of the fiscal year 2023. The continuing resolution passed in a 224 to 201 vote and now heads to the Senate, where it must pass and be sent to President Biden's desk before midnight on Friday to avoid a shutdown. This measure will keep the government funded at current levels until December 23rd. Also, folks, in a notice sent by the House Minority Leader, he said that leadership recommended Republicans to vote no on the bill in an attempt to buy additional time for a lame duck session. But now this means that gas prices are continuing to drop as demand lowered and oil prices held steady. The national average for a cost of gas is $3.26, and that's 50 cents less than a month ago and 6 cents less than a year ago. As the winter weather keeps people homebound, less demand for gas and continued stability in oil prices has contributed to the steady decline of gas prices. AAA spokesperson told Fox News that the seasonal pattern of less driving due to shorter days and crummy weather combined with lower oil costs is driving gas prices lower. If this trend continues, many states could see their average gas price fall by $3 a gallon. Under the weight of economic concerns, everybody, a possible surge in crisis and a changed psyche is causing oil prices last week to fall again to nearly a decade low. Oil prices have struggled mightily to hold its rally even on some potentially bullish news, each time falling back down as fundamentals look struggles. Gavin Newsom even said that he announced a proposal to penalize oil companies for reported price gaps.